doing? Gonna get this thing started. Good morning, good morning. Hello. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Can everybody hear me? Oh. Good morning, good morning. Can y'all hear me? Can everybody hear me? Can't hear me?
We can't hear you.
Okay, hold on. You can hear me now? Hello, hello. Check the chat. Hello. Sorry, y'all. Hello. Okay, guys, do y'all hear me? You can hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
All right, sorry,
Yes,
y'all. Good
we can
morning.
hear
How
you now.
y'all doing? Y'all doing all right today?
Good.
All right, so this is day one, guys. So we just gonna go over the basics of how to plant a seed and explain the difference between like seeds and like transplants and stuff like that. Because like some people have to do.
May I ask a question? What is all of that noise in the background? Is everybody not on mute?
Yeah, everybody put your phone on mute. Sorry. Yo, what's that?
I think that's my bird.
Oh yeah, put it on mute.
How do I?
Oh, I got it. I got it. Okay, got you. So all right, guys, we about to go over just like the basics of like transplanting, versus like planting direct seed. And then I'm just going over these things because this is like my experience of what I have done over the years and stuff like that. And this is the stuff that I take in my notes because this is what I'm really trying to teach y'all how to like take notes when you garden because everything gonna be different every year. Like you're gonna always have some like new idea every year. It never stays the same just because like the weather maybe be different in 4 years in your area or on that side of the house or something like that. So you have to always take notes or make videos and stuff like that, because like when you look back, you'll be like, gosh, man, I was ahead that year because I did this, or man, dang, it was a snowstorm, so I was prepared to cover it up. So that's what I want to put out there first. But all right, I'm not gonna talk too long because I don't want to hold everybody day up. But let's get to it though. Hold on, let me open my notes up real quick. Sorry, guys. Oh,
Can you just confirm the time frame of the class? Because I want to make sure that I can be here.
9 to 9:30 every day. That's why
Okay.
I want to get y'all here
Okay.
and knock it out. So basically, we're gonna
Okay.
start with seed versus transplants. All right. So like direct seeding, some things you just like to, some things you can direct seed. The things that I direct seed is like snapdragons, nasturtiums, spinach, beets, carrots, and peas. Those are example of things to start, to just go outside and put it inside, because you don't want to like disturb their root system like using like a transplant, because some things don't need to be bothered. Some things just need to just be direct seed in the ground, have patience, make sure the weather is right, the temperature is right. And a lot of people get discouraged, but you have to always prepare your ground too, because wow, when you direct seed, you're gonna be dealing with pest problems. You're gonna be dealing with all types of little bitty bugs and stuff ready to eat your seeds, or they're gonna be ready to eat your baby plants. So it's better to prep your bed with different type of pest resistant stuff. I do companion farming. So basically, like I try to always find something that can help that bed with pest control. So if I'm planting like collard greens or something, I try to direct seed some garlic next to it. So I had the garlic growing the year before, before the spring come in, and then as soon as my collard greens come in, I can either direct seed them or I can put a transplant next to it, and it benefit to help it out with like pest control and stuff like that, because like they don't like that garlic smell and stuff, so they try to stay away. So I try to put different things to help each other. And as soon as that garlic is done, I'll pull that garlic bed up, and then I will put like tomatoes, because like tomatoes be like ready for that type of soil, that how that garlic left all the nutrients, made new microbes and everything. So the thing is too, and when you doing like direct seeding and stuff like that, I'm gonna give y'all the list one more time if y'all want to write things to direct seed. These are the best things to, like, I feel like the direct seed or beans.
Are we getting any notes at all, or we have to take all the notes?
Yeah, y'all have to take all the notes. That's why I say, like, if y'all want to write these notes down, these are the best things to direct seed. Beans, beets, carrots. And when you direct seed carrots, you want to make sure you cover them up for like 7 days with like a tarp or something like that, because you don't want like the weeds to try to outgrow the little bitty carrot seeds. And it also help germinate it faster too as well, because they like to be kind of, you plant them on top of the soil, so birds can come eat it, anything can come eat it. So you kind of want to just kind of tarp it and cover it up for like 7 days, and then take the tarp off, and then it should be germinating. And then another thing is melons, basically like your watermelons, anything like, your cucumbers, anything like that, your peas, like the snow peas. Like snow peas are best to be grown in like before your first frost and before your last frost. So they like to be grown and going into springtime. So you want to direct seed snow peas 4 weeks before your last frost, and you want to direct seed them, kind of 6 weeks before your last frost, because they like to be in cool weather. And radish is the same way too, just kind of like snow peas. So these are things I'm telling y'all that you can direct seed. You don't have to put in a tray or something. Spinach is the same way. Squash is the same way too. And one reason squash is better over my years, because I've been selling like starters. I used to grow like 20,000 plant starters. And I noticed that squash is actually better direct seed, because like it seemed like that root just go deeper in the ground, and it's easier to manage and heal, because you want to always heal your squash when you growing squash. So as soon as it comes up, you want to just continue healing it. But some people put 5 squashes in some areas, but I spread my squash far apart. But we're gonna get into all that later on this week. And then you can put turnips in the as on the ground too. And all I do is take the turnips. I take my turnips and just sprinkle them in my hand like this, and then I just sprinkle them out, and then just get a rake and just rake over it, and then they'll just come up just like that. You can just take them and just throw them out like that and just rake over them. So you don't have to like just put turnips in a seed tray. And you can do zucchini the same way, because they just like squash. All right, so these are the things that you can direct seed, and I'm gonna tell you things now that you can transplant. So get ready to put transplant. Things that you need to like grow ahead of time, like under grow lights and stuff like that. And these are the things that you need to kind of start under grow lights. If you live in like a cold area where I live at, see, it's warm here, but it can snow all the way up to Mother's Day here. So, you have to be careful about what type of plants that you put out. And these are the plants you have to be careful when you like in a growing zone that the temperatures are 55 degrees below night, at nighttime. And these plants are like celery. You want to transplant celery. And one thing I noticed about growing celery, they like a lot of water too as well. Number 2 is eggplants. You want to transplant eggplants too as well, because you want to get them going ahead of the time. Because, a lot of these plants, they kind of grow kind of slow and fast at the same time. So I'm basically saying like it takes a long time for it to catch up, because once it get hot, this is when a lot of these plants kind of thrive, some of them. And collard greens is one of them. Collard greens kind of thrive better in cold weather. So you want to plant collard greens for spring and fall garden. So that's what you want to do with that. And kale is one of the ones easy to transplant. Broccoli, you want to have as a transplant. Leeks, you want to have those as a transplant. Onions, you want to have those as a transplant. Peppers, you want to have those as a transplant. And tomatoes, you want to definitely have tomatoes as a transplant too as well. And all these plants that I just named, you want to make sure you prep your soil and make sure you have a good pH system that all these plants can grow. Like you want to always look up like, okay, I'm planting tomatoes. I need to figure out what my soil pH need to be, so let's get to the next thing, guys. So that was like basically, the first thing. I'm going to try to run through the rest. Sometimes I get to talking and start explaining other stuff. So let's talk about cool season crops. I kind of went over that during that right now. But the best thing about cool season crops, guys, is that it's easier to grow. I like growing cool season crops because like you don't have to deal with that many bugs. You don't have to deal with that many problems like that. And it's always kind of raining towards the fall time and the springtime. So you just getting that natural water too as well. The thing is about warm season crops, I feel like, is that you have to battle a lot of pests. You know what I'm saying? You have to battle all the humidity, weather and stuff like that. You have to battle a whole lot of things. You know what I'm saying? And majority of everything that is cool crops is like more direct seed. So it's like you don't really have to put them all up on the grow lights and stuff like that. You can kind of like direct seed majority of the cool crops. But all the like warm season crops, like the beans and the corn and the cucumbers and eggplants and the melons and the peppers and the zucchini and the summer squash and the pumpkins and the winter squash and your sweet potatoes and your tomatoes and your watermelons, all that stuff is hard because why? Like you're gonna have like that powder mildew come in like July. Everybody gonna get like some. If you live in an area where it's very humid, you're gonna get like this powdery mildew on a lot of these plants, and you have to be ahead of this. You got to be knowing that okay, when all this rainy season come in, I'm gonna be battling this during the hot season, and I'm gonna have to cover up my plants to protect my plants too as well. And you got to be ahead of that because I feel like a lot of people wait at the last minute, you know, like when these things come around and they don't pick up on it. So basically, I'm gonna try to go through something. Like for instance, something like a broccoli or a cabbage, you need to be knowing that like, oh man, I need to be prepared in spring when I plant these things because why? This white moth butterfly gonna come out of nowhere. I need to be prepared. And we're gonna I'm gonna teach y'all how to do that in some more days, how to like protect all your plants and stuff like that. So you can have healthy plants. That's what it's all about. I'm trying to teach y'all how to have healthy plants and it's like the basics too, guys. Like all these things are just common sense. It's just like steps. And I followed these steps, you know, and you wouldn't think like these steps are so simple that it'll help you out like in an easy way. Sometimes I used to be hard-headed. I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna go against the grain. I'm gonna go do this. And it don't work out. But you'll end up finding new stuff though, because like I said at the beginning, everybody have like different weather in here. And we're gonna go over that like the last day. I'm gonna let everybody talk to me and I want y'all to discuss to me about y'all plan zones because we can break down in a group that everybody know about plan zones and stuff like that, because that's the number one thing that people need to find out about is what plant zone they in, because we all maybe live in different plant zones and you can plant stuff different than what I can plant stuff. You know, some of y'all can probably plant banana trees and some of us can't plant a banana tree, you know, so that's just how it is. And let's talk about, I feel like the most 16 easiest things to grow. I get a lot of people ask me this question, and I feel like the most easiest things to grow is basil. And I feel like basil is easy to grow because it takes like little small space. It don't really take that much space because you can grow basil in your window. You can grow it in containers. You can grow it in a small garden, you know, so you can grow it on your deck outside on your patio. So that's the best thing about basil. That's the number one thing I feel like easy to grow. And the number two thing that's easy, I feel like easy to grow is carrots. And I feel like one reason why carrots is one of the easiest things to grow is because it takes, you know, I'm telling you these things because I know a lot of people don't have that much space like I have. So I want to tell you things that what you can grow in a little bitty space, you know? And I know if you meet some of these farmers, they can't really explain to you because they using like, you know, acreage. So they may be planting a little different, you know? So this is a way that you can plant and have a lot of food for your family. So this is why I'm telling you, this is like the easiest thing to kind of grow in your backyard. And you can put carrots in a pot. You can just sprinkle carrots in just a pot. Go get you like a 10-gallon pot somewhere. Go to a nursery. Go to a nursery and just ask them like, hey, y'all, do y'all got a bunch of extra pots? They got thousands of pots just sitting in the back, right? And they want somebody to come get them. I asked people to come get mine. I just gave away thousands of pots. You just come to me. I just give you the pots. Just go to a nursery Ask them, be like, hey, do y'all have any extra pots in the back that y'all not using? And then boom, you go in the back, they got 20 gallons, 30-gallon pots. Come with a trailer, come with a truck. If not, come back. All right, so the next thing is Swiss chard. I feel like Swiss chard is one of the easiest things to grow too. Why? Because Swiss chard will survive in cold weather. Swiss chard will survive in hot weather, and you can pick off of it all year long. Once you plant Swiss chard, it's just something that you just gonna pick off all year long, and it just continue growing back, continue growing back. So I had some Swiss chards growing in my greenhouse for 2 years in the bed. I ran the tests on it to see if it really worked. And then another thing to plant in like a small space is chives. Chives are, I don't know if some of y'all don't like chives, but they like to be planted in like little small containers. You don't really need like a big container, like a 6 to 10 inch container. So that's probably like a 1 gallon to a 4 gallon container that you can use to plant your chives in. So it depends on where you live at though. They actually come back and year after year in some plant zones. So if some of y'all live in like a plant zone that it gets warm or something like that and they don't have like snow, it'll come back every year and you'll have chives for the rest of your life. And then another thing is easy to plant is cucumbers. And one reason why it's easy to plant because it's just a trellis, guys. You build like a trellis for a cucumber. If you got like sticks laying in your yard, you can use those sticks. Or if you got like bamboo around, you can use those bamboo to build a trellis. Or if you got a fence built around your yard, you can plant the cucumber next to the fence and you can trellis the cucumbers all the way through the fence and you just can have some cucumbers, you know. So that's another way too as well. So the better you vine and trellis up your cucumber, the bigger yield you get. And the one reason why I say it's one of the easiest plants to grow, guys, because you can harvest cucumbers in 60 to 70 days. So, you know, 60 to 70 days, 2 months later, after planting your seeds, you don't have to go to the grocery store for, you know, the next 2 or 3 months. And then if you harvest some and pickle some and can some or whatever, however you want to save them, you don't even have to go to the grocery store no more because, you know, you only need, I probably say each family member probably only need like 6, 7 cucumber plants. That's going to be more than enough because it's going to bush out and you're going to be able to save so many cucumbers, you know. So make sure that cucumber have like a trellis, guys. Always remember that. For it can be held up. Eggplant is one of the easiest ones to grow too as well. It's the replacement of like radish and stuff like that, but it's delicious. I don't know if some of y'all don't like eggplant, but it's really kind of good with like Middle Eastern dishes, or you can stuff them. You can do a lot of different things with eggplants too, and they easy to plant. And garlic is number 7 on the list, guys. Garlic is very easy. Like I plant my garlic in the fall time. Why? Because fall and garlic have to go through like a dormant stage. And you can plant these things in containers. You can plant these things in small garden beds. You can plant these things next to your fence line. You can plant these things around so many things and they'll just thrive. But it's best to plant them in the fall time. The reason why, because like I said, they got to go through a dormant stage. And when the more cold your bulb get, the bigger your garlic bulbs will get. But you need to find out what plant zone you in because they got a long neck and they have a soft neck garlic. Remember that. They got a soft neck and a hard neck. Soft neck, hard neck garlic. So you have to remember that. Because some of y'all might be in the area for a soft neck garlic. And then your garlic might don't get the size that you thought it was going to be. And then some of y'all might be in the area where it's a hard neck garlic. You know, so you have to remember that.
I have a question. Can you tell us how to spell trellis so I can look it up?
Oh, Trillis.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. And then you want to have ground cherries. Ground cherries are easy to grow too as well. And the only reason why, because they like, you know, nightshade. Like they very, So like basically you find something that's companion with like ground cherries and stuff. I feel like it'd be easy, like your corn, like stuff that you don't want to get taken over. Like you want to always put anything that's a ground cover planted in your area that you want to protect, something that you won't have to go in there and hoe it or put soil around it, all the time. And lemon trees are one of the most easiest things to grow. And we got those growing in our community garden um, down in South Georgia because they can kind of take care of themselves. So that's the best thing about growing lemon trees too, as well. You have to fertilize them, but you got to make sure they in well drained soil. So they like the easiest like fruit tree to do. And lettuce is one of the easiest things to plant too as well, because like it don't take that long to grow lettuce. You can start harvesting lettuce in like 45 days. That's the best thing about lettuce. And they like the money maker. If y'all start to be like a market gardener, that's the best thing to grow if you want to make money is lettuce, because people eat lettuce every day, and guess what? Lettuce grow in 45 days or 55 days, and you can have lettuce grown inside of a 5-gallon pot. You don't really have to have a lot of space to grow lettuce. You can plant lettuce every 4 inches away from each other. So you should, in a 4x4 space, you should get 24 lettuce in a 4x4 space. And that's a lot of lettuce for a family, because all you're gonna do is cut off of it and more lettuce gonna come back again. And then you got more lettuce. And you can survive off of that, for like a 2-month or 4 week, that you ain't going to the grocery store. But you can be having other types of greens. And another thing to grow is peas.
Excuse me.
Yes.
When you say cut off of it, so you don't pull it up, you just cut the top and then it keeps growing?
Yep.
Is that what you mean?
Yep. Cut the top and keep growing. And you can just
Okay.
cut it from the bottom, like down at the, but like when you peeling your lettuce off
Right.
at the bottom, you just want to cut it off at the bottom and leave the root in the ground, and
Yeah.
it just grow
Okay.
right back. And you just give it water and it just grow right back. And it's amazing. And a lot of people don't know that. You can actually put it in some people like that don't have big garden space. I have seen it. Like they'll put it in like a mason jar and, and grow it like that inside of the kitchen and put like an LED light on it. So it's crazy. It'll grow right back. But you put it in the soil, it'll grow faster, and that's the best thing about that. And peas are easy to grow. I'm gonna try to rush through these guys because I said I'm gonna get y'all out of here at 9:30. My wife said I was gonna talk y'all to death, but peas are easy to grow because they got to go on the trellis too, guys. So remember, peas got to be on the trellis too, and peas are good for nitrogen. So they also fix your ground. I like to plant peas like in the fall for next year. So basically I use it as a cover crop. So I plant the peas at the end of the season, and then when they die out and I pick all the peas, I just let the plant just die in the soil, and then it help all the soil out for next year. So it keep all those nutrients in the soil. And peppers are easy to grow too as well. One reason I think peppers are easy to grow because like you don't have to water them a lot. They just really like to just be stood up on a pole, and then pole beans are easy to grow too as well. You can direct seed pole beans and they'll just take off, and they have to be on a trellis. So that's why they call them pole beans, because they have to grow up a trellis too. So these are the things like I don't want y'all to go outside and plant a bean and then don't know how to trellis and it just take off and you like, man, what? This is junk is all over the place, so I want y'all to know the difference between all this stuff. And radishes, oh man, they are so easy to plant. Like this is my favorite thing to plant are radishes because I harvest them in 25 and 30 days and I take them to the farmer's market and sell them, or I sell them to other vendors. So they like my biggest kind of cash crop because they grow fast. I plant several thousands of them, take boxes and sell the boxes, the different vendors and stuff like that, because they grow in like 30 days. But the thing is, they don't like to be grown in like hot weather that's when they get spicy. But the only people who really kind of like them spicy is like Spanish restaurants and stuff, because they'll put them in like all your tacos and stuff like that. And green onions are easier to grow. You don't have to put green onions up under the ground. You can just put green onions on top of the soil, and they'll just take off, and you can be harvesting green onions in 4 weeks, eating them, like it's nothing. And tomato is the last one, guys. I feel like tomato is like the easiest thing to grow, just because, it kind of grows on its own. It's one of those things, but some tomatoes need a trellis too. So you have a determined tomato, and determined is DETERMINATE, a determined tomato. So you have those. So you have an indeterminate tomatoes. So like you have two different ones, guys. Like I'm basically saying you got one indeterminate, it basically like take off and bind off. And then you got a determinate, more like a bush. So you got one like a bush that you can put in hanging baskets. So a determinate tomato, you can put them in hanging baskets and grow them. Indeterminate, you can kind of have like a trellis and plant them, and they'll bind up. So those are the 16 easiest things that I feel like you can grow. And I hope this day one help y'all guys out. This is, just the beginning, guys. And we're going to get on to the next thing tomorrow that is going to benefit you about day, 1. Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, how do I pay the $20?
Say, you haven't. How
do I pay the $20?
Oh, I thought you already paid.
No.
Oh, you
I
haven't?
bought the book for $20, and when I bought that gardening book, I thought that was part of the class, but you said it wasn't. So
no.
I
was saying like you pay when you pay for the book, right?
Yes.
Basically, like you paying for the garden class too, but
cool.
The book is my book, and I'm like, well, I might well just give them a book too, for they can.
See, I didn't know that. I don't think you had this. Did you decide that up front?
Oh, talking about like giving away the book for free.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna just give the book with it, because like
cool, because when I had brought the book, I said to you, is this book going with the class? And you said no. I said, oh my God.
No, I thought you were saying like, are we going over the book in the class? I was like, no, it's gonna be a little different. Only reason why I wanted to do it a little different is because everything that I'm giving to y'all is questions what people asking me from the book. So it's like, so I was like, well, let me just write all of them down, and then I just go through a class with it, and it can help out, because if they read the book, they'll be like, dang, he said all of this in the class, and it kind of answer all my questions. And I feel like if you teach it off the book, nobody don't really understand it, because you have to like kind of experience it yourself by reading it. And
are these being recorded? This class, is it being recorded?
Yeah, I'm recording it on another thing right now on a private link, and I can give y'all that private link.
Okay, cool. Because I write kind of sloppy because I'm writing fast.
Yeah.
And then when I'm gonna go back and listen and take my time, and
Okay. Yeah, if y'all want the private link, you can hit me in my my Gmail, or you can write me on Facebook. And I try to get y'all that private link. Once it upload, I send it over from my YouTube. Nobody else can't see it, but y'all will be able to see it, because I send it.
I got to get ready to log in for work.
Okay, guys, y'all take it easy, man. Anybody else have any more questions?
Yeah, will you be going over any container gardens? I know you mentioned a few plants that can go in containers.
Yeah, we will be going over container gardens. That's gonna be like I think what day I'm doing container gardens. Tomorrow is container gardens, so we're gonna go over raised bed gardens tomorrow, container gardens tomorrow. Basically the first thing I'm gonna teach y'all about is starting a small, garden. You know, what you need, like sun requirements. And then we're going to go over raised beds, container gardens. Then I'm going to teach you about crop rotation. So basically everything tomorrow really just going to be based off of raised beds and containers. Like things that you can plant and how you need to plant it and stuff like that. And then day 3, we're going to go over like how to care for your soil. And day 4, we're going to go over watering. And day 5, we're going to go over planting. And then day 6, we'll all just sit around and Q&A and talk. And y'all just, y'all just ask me everything that you feel like that you missed out on all these days, like what you didn't really understand. You know, we just gonna go over all of that on the last day. Everybody got that?
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else got a question? Oh, hold on. Let me unmute you. You muted. Hold on. I think she's trying to say something. You got to hit your unmute on your screen.
How about now?
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, when you mentioned the tomatoes, the determinate and indeterminate ones, which one of them, I know one of them keeps growing constantly and one of them only, like the tomatoes will keep growing on one of those plants, but I can't remember which one it is.
Okay, the indeterminate, they basically buying out. And then the determinate is a bush. So it's more like a tree. But you really got to have both of them standing up on something regardless. Yeah. But it's best to put like your indeterminate on like a so okay, let me ask y'all all a question. Is everybody using soil or pots? That's what I should have asked everybody at the beginning of the class, because I think it can kind of show everybody, like, you know, because you can do both the same way, but it's kind of like different techniques for pots and different techniques for soil. But I know for the indeterminate, like, you need to make sure you have like a trellis. And basically, I'm gonna tell y'all where to get that trellis from. You can go to Amazon and just order like a net. Just type in like garden net trellis, and then it'll pop up. It'll be like this little net thing, like you throw in the ocean or something to catch a fish, you know. So you'll be able to tie these things up and be able to keep your plants growing in between them. And cucumbers need a trellis too. And the better your trellis is, the healthier your plants are, because they're not laying on the ground.
I bought some stakes to make like teepee trellises.
Yeah.
Do you like those?
Yeah, you can do that.
Do you like the net better?
You can do that. You can do that too. You can do that. Like a lot of people do that too. You know, like they have put something in the middle, like it's like companion wise, and or you might put, basically I'm saying you might put some marigolds in there for pest control in the middle, because they need shade. And then once everything grow up, the marigolds in the middle of it, and it's helping out with the pest control. So that's a way you can do it too. So yeah, you can use stakes. You can use anything that can be a pole. You can use a fence pole. You can use a branch that fell down in the yard and then just cut it up.
That's what I used one year. It was all branches because I live right by the woods.
Yeah.
And it was,
And then you can use PVC pipe. I use PVC pipe too. You can use that. Like I basically take PVC pipe, put it in the ground. You can get, you probably buy the 2-inch PVC pipe, or you can get I take the horse stake, the fence post, put them in the ground, and then put a PVC pipe on top of it, and then stretch it and make it like 10 feet tall, and you can make the beans go 10 feet all the way up. Like they'll grow as high as y'all want them to grow.
Yeah.
They'll grow. You can get a lot of food if you like. That's why I wish people who lived in the city, I wish apartment complex will agree with people to grow food, because people can trellis all their balconies. Like, and they trellis all their balconies. Everybody can have food.
Yeah.
You know, even watermelon can trellis. That's how the Cherokee Indians grew it. The Seminole Indians grew them. They grew them in trees. They didn't grow pumpkins on the ground because all the animals would come eat it and stuff like that. So like that's one reason why they used to have everything trellised up, for animals won't come just eat everything. They'll eat everything on the bottom, but they can't reach all the way up to the top unless you're like a tall deer or something. Well, I guess that's anybody. I guess that's it, y'all. I'm gonna get with y'all in the morning. I'm about to head over to the farm and get the tilling up. I got to get ready to till up what I got to do. I got to get ready to plant some corn and some sweet potatoes.
All right. Too early for that here.
Oh man, I'm happy everybody joined. I'm happy everybody came to learn as much as they can, man. And hopefully I can help y'all out with y'all garden journey, and hope that, you know, it really get everybody on to something. Hopefully that y'all can bring me something to learn, you know, that y'all picked up and like, hey, Malcolm missed out on this. This is what I learned, you know. And everybody who joined this group, man, I'm gonna send y'all seeds and everything. Like I just want y'all to grow as much as y'all can. You know, I'll be able to give y'all maybe lettuce seeds, collard seeds, maybe pepper seeds. I got a lot of extra seeds I'm gonna go through, and I'll be able to send y'all some seeds maybe next week. And that'll probably get some of y'all already probably have seeds, but we'll be able to spread the seeds out that I have, and they'll be able to keep reproducing. And maybe the next class will be on seed saving. You know, at the end of the year, we'll do a seed saving class.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Thank y'all, guys. Y'all have a good
Thank
day.
you.
Thank you.
You too.
Hey, goodbye.